Hi guys, welcome to week 3 of summer school. You are 2 weeks down and you have 2 more weeks to go. You are doing a wonderful job and I am so proud of all of your hard work that you have been putting forth so far in summer school. You are going to be more than ready for 5th grade this coming year. So this week we are going to be reading a fable, and I have this anchor chart up for you. A fable is a short story, it is fiction, and it teaches a moral or a lesson. We're going to talk about what a moral or a lesson means in just a moment. So, in fables, animals are normally the main characters. Animals talk and act like humans. They have simple characters and a simple plot, and a plot is just everything that happens in a story. And there are personifications. We're not going to talk about what a personification is right now because this story does not have personifications. So this story is called The Best Nest, and it is a Mayan story. And the main characters are animals. And in the story, we learn how animals build their nests. And so many times when we read a fable tries to explain how something came to be. So this fable tries to explain how certain animals build certain nests. And the fable says that this is why these animals build the nests the way that they do today. Now we know that fables are fiction, so we know that this is not true, but fables set out to explain how certain things came to be. So we saw that one of the elements of a fable is that fables often teach a moral or a lesson. So we can say that a moral or a lesson is also called a theme. So the theme of a story is the moral, message, or lesson of a story. In other words, it is what you could learn from a story. So they gave us a few examples here. These are just very short one-word examples of themes. So one theme that you may have heard before is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That is an example of a theme. Now, I'm showing you this anchor chart because a lot of times I've noticed in 4th grade that many people get confused between the difference of a theme and main idea. So the main idea of a story is what the story is mostly about, and it's usually in about one sentence. So when you're asked to identify the theme of a story, make sure that you're not explaining what the story is mostly about. Rather, you're explaining what you can learn from the story. All right, I'm going to go over to our projects. So the project we're going to be doing this week is called The Best Nest. So I'm going to tell you before we start that I believe Mayan is acting up right now because it's not letting me actually open the story. And if that happens tomorrow, we'll have to come up with a different game plan for how we're going to complete this project. I might have to assign a different book and different questions. So we'll just play it by ear tomorrow. Hopefully Mayan won't be acting up because I was able to open the story earlier tonight. I'm going to use this book as an example of the page numbers. So the fable we're going to be reading this week does not have page numbers like this book does. This book has page numbers in the bottom. So instead, we're going to say that this whole page is page number 1. This whole page is page number 2. This is page 3, and so on. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. The fable that you are reading this week does not have page numbers. You will need to pay attention to what page you are on because when you go to the journal, you will be asked to read a certain number of pages. So on day 1, which is tomorrow, Monday, you will read pages 1 through 4 and you will complete the journal 1 questions. So number 1 asks you to pay attention to what you read on pages 1 through 2. The question says, what actions showed that Mother Bird was very careful? So you will go back to pages 1 through 2 and look at what the text says and you will answer that question. You have 3 journals to do this week. So journal 1 is for Monday. Journal 2 is pages 5 through 8, that's Tuesday. And journal 3 is pages 9 through 13, and that is Wednesday. So this week, the purpose of our reading is to determine the theme or central message of the story. On Etsy, I also am linking a Brain Pop video for you to watch. I showed this many times last year if you were in my class, and many of the students really liked it, so I would highly suggest that you take the time to watch this Brain Pop video on theme. We are also going to be focusing on referring to the details and examples in a text. So it's really important that when we're answering questions, we are using the details and examples given in a story. And then the last part says when explaining what the text says explicitly. So explicitly means that it's right there in the text. We don't have to do a lot of searching. Then this says, and when drawing inferences from the text. So in 4th grade, we focused a lot on making inferences, and an inference is using what the text says and what we already know to make a prediction or draw a conclusion. Okay, so that's reading for this week. Word work this week, we are going to be working with the prefixes dis, re, and un. A prefix is added to the beginning of a word to change its meaning. So this week, we are going to be looking at dis, re, and un. The prefixes dis and un both actually mean the same thing. They both mean not. Re means to do again. So we're going to be following the same word work routine that we have been using since last week. So you're going to read the text below. You are going to underline any words with the prefix dis and circle the ones with the prefix re. Now I know many of you do not have a printer at home, and that is okay. So you can simply just recreate this chart down here and write the words that you find with the prefix dis and write the words that you find with the prefix re. Now, this actually gives you a really cool hint because at the top it tells you that there are 6 words that start with dis and there are 8 words that start with re. So you're just going to write them right here. Then you are going to put the words in alphabetical order. So I mentioned this in the video last week. We have 3 words that start with D, and we have 5 words that start with R. So we know that D comes before R in the alphabet, so we're going to look at these words first. But then we see that the second letter starts with I. So then we're going to have to move on to the third letter. Okay, so the third letter in all 3 of these words starts with S. So now we're going to have to move on to the fourth letter. We have C, A, and O. We know that the alphabet starts with A, so we know that disable will be the very first word. Tuesday's word work will look exactly the same. I will make a new video for Wednesday and Thursday's word work because it will be a little different. On Monday, I am asking for you to do 20 to 30 minutes of iReady. And then on Tuesday, you will read your independent book and you will respond on Etsy based off of what you read. And I will post a video and an example tomorrow of your independent reading project for the week. All right, guys, hopefully I answered all of your questions. Please let me know in the morning if this project still does not work and we'll come up with something different. I'm hoping that it's just because Mayan's acting up a little bit right now, but I will check again in the morning and hopefully it will work. All right, let me know if you have any questions and I will talk to you soon. Bye.